Hello, Dyna Pro trading family. This is J Mob, aka the Pimp Dealer, once again, and I'm here back using the Pro Concepts indicator. The Pro Concepts Smart Money Indicator has many great features. For this video, I'm going to show specifically how you use the Pro Concepts indicator along with price action. So, first thing we should start off with, what is price action? Well, price action is the movement of an asset over a period of time. You can see if an asset has been rising, is bullish or falling, is bearish. Sometimes the market goes back and forth, and we call it ranging or consolidation. That's when the buyers and sellers are in decision. So you don't have any buyers or sellers, you're just kind of going side to side, and we'll show that. And price action can also show breakouts, pullbacks, or what they call retracements, continuations of a trend, and other things related to how price moves. So let's delve into this video here. I'm just going to keep this here as we define price action. So we can see that right there, what that is right there. And I'll move it to the side now. And we're going to start off with Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. This is on the 5-minute chart. And we're going to kind of go over how price action coincides with the Pro Concepts indicator. So the first thing I want to show is that this is a downtrend. So we can typically take a trend line and draw a downtrend from here down. We can see that. We like to have the trend line make two touches, touch here and a touch there. So I'm going to put an X here of where the trend line is touching, the price is touching the trend line. So we can clearly see that this is a downtrend because, well, you can see how the trend line is going down here and how price is kind of going from this point here, from a high of this area here down to here. So that's one thing we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this trend line so we can see what that is, right? That's a trend line right here, trend line. Next, we're going to look at support and resistance. And we're going to draw a line. Actually, let's define what support and resistance is. So we're going to come over here and define support. Support, think of support being like the floor. And think of resistance being, let's put resistance on top here, over here. So I'm going to go this here. Let's think of resistance as being the ceiling. Okay. So you have a floor and a ceiling. So imagine you in your room and you got the ceiling, which is resistance. It can't go any further than that. And you got support, which is called the floor. I'm going to put this over here for now. And we're going to be using this terminology to help us with this chart here. So again, this is the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. And let's draw some zones here. So I'm going to draw a line right here because this is where price came at the lowest point. You can see right here. On this view right here, this is where price came to the lowest point. So we're going to call this an area of resistance, of support. This is an area of support, right? Area of support. Or it's the floor, right? The floor. So you can clearly see that this area here will be support because it's like the floor. Price came all the way down here and it stopped right here, right? Stopped right here. And then it kind of shot back up. So this is what we call area of support right here. I can come up here and draw a line way up here. Actually, put it right here. Put it right there. And this line here, put it right there, will be what we call resistance. Move my X up here, right? So this area up here is going to be resistance because this is like the ceiling, right? Way up here, the ceiling. So I'm going to change this to area of resistance, right? Resistance. Because this is where the ceiling is, right? In the view that we have right here in front of us, right? So this is the area of resistance, ceiling, because price came up here and it couldn't pass this area here. Now, we also notice that price came up here and touched right here. We see a touch right here, and we see a touch right here. We see a touch right here, right? These little X's here, right? Make this smaller. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw an arrow. Might be easier, right? These X's get kind of wild here after a while. Let's draw the arrow. So this area here is an area of resistance. This here is another area of resistance. These were candles came up to this line and they could not break through. Here's another area of resistance right here, right? And we also call this rejections. These are areas of rejections also. So let's also clone this and let's call this over here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Let's see it. These are rejections. These are areas of rejections in the market. Area. I want to go over here. Areas of rejection. And what I mean by that is that notice how these candles came up to this area here and broke away, came up to the area here and broke away, came up to this area here and broke away, came up to this area here and broke away. You notice that outside of over here, except for over here, these areas right here formed a strong rejection area, which meant that price could not break past this level. So I'm gonna come in here and mark a small little resistance zone here, a little small little resistance zone right here. So this area of resistance right here is where we have multiple rejections. And again, we say multiple rejections are when price comes up to a certain place and then it breaks away, rejects, like the ceiling, hits the ceiling. It broke the ceiling a little bit, but then it couldn't go all the way down. So it came up here this way over here. It came back to the area of resistance and it came back away. It came back to the area of resistance and it came back away. That's also known as retesting. So you can see our price retesting the zone. Retesting a zone is what's happening in this area right here. So I'm going to do a call out here, a little call out right here, right? A little call out. And you can see price retested the zone what 4 times, right? At least 4 times we get over here, right? So one came when it broke through here, it retested it 1, 2, 3, somewhere 3, a little bit 3 in this area, 4, and then it broke away. So after the 4th retest of this zone, it broke away. So we want to keep that also in mind. This is price action. Price action is looking at this zone and testing this zone. And look how many times it tested the zone here. So let's look at some other areas here. I can draw a line here. Here's another area of support, right? Right here. Why? Because it hit this level and it bounced off this floor here. Imagine this being a floor, right? Then price came back to this trend line here, hit this trend line at X. Then it came through here. And we're going to now focus on this area right here. I'm going to open it up a little bit more so you can see it. This candle right here, this red candle right here, is a very interesting candle because this candle right here, what did it do? It broke through this resistance, this support, right? You can see how this candle right here, let me make it bigger so you can see. Let's make it bigger, right? Look at how this candle breaks through this yellow line. So what we see here is what we call break of structure. This right here is what they call BOS, or break of structure. Break of structure means that price broke through a structure or a line or a support or resistance. So since this is, let me move the candle, let me move the arrow over here so you can see this candle right here broke. It broke this support. See, broke support. And then what it do? It came back to retest. So remember, this is like a retest over here, right? Or rejection. So if I put an X here, or let's do a, this is a retest right here. This area right here is a retest, right? These candles here retested. And how many candles do we have retest here? Let's blow this up. This is a breaker structure right here. This candle right here, we can call it that. So price came back up here and retested this area. So how many times did this retest? So let's look at this here. Go over here, and we're going to count the number of candles. So here's one, and we're going to draw another one here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, right? 5. The candle, the little red candle to the left here, move it over a little bit like that. That's 5 candles that retested this area here. So this here is another form of rejection. But now look what it's doing. It's doing resistance. So now sometimes a zone can play support and resistance. You see, this plays support over here because it's a floor, right? Because it came right here. It came right there and it stopped, right? It stopped. So it rejected at that area right there, rejected at that area, right? Right here, right here. And then it shot back up. Over here, you see that it broke this structure. So it broke support. So once it broke support, it violated this area of support. So once it broke support and come back up here to retest, because this is our retest right here. Let's go back and look. See, remember when I said that price retested the zone? They retested the zone here, right? Because it's touching, come back, touch, and then it comes away, touch, come back away, touch, come back away. So I'm going to come over here and clone this, and then we can clearly see that this is doing the same exact thing down over here, right? This is doing the same exact thing over here. Look at what's doing over here. It's touching this zone here, right? Right in here. Remember, these are 5 candles that I blew up. Let's go and look at them again. Look, let's open it up, and see what I'm talking about. You see, all these candles, 1, 2. This one not so much, but it came close to it. This one. You see that this one retested here. So these are all forms of rejection in here. This is rejection. This is the area of rejection right here, right? So I can come over here and I could draw a little zone here because this is a little zone of rejections, right? So this is a resistance zone right here. This is area of resistance right here. This is area of resistance on this side. This is the area of resistance on this side here. And then over here is area of support. So you're seeing this zone right here. Okay, we can call this, let's go over here, call this zone 1. Here's zone 1. That's zone 1's right here. So zone 1 clearly is playing resistance up here. But if I come over here and clone this and call this zone 2, well, zone 2 is doing both. Zone 2 is both support and resistance. So zone 2 is playing both support and resistance. You can see playing support here, playing resistance over here. Okay, so let's go on with more of our analysis here. Right, this is area of support right here, right? And then again, remember this is the price retest the zone. Here is test the zone 5 times, right? About 5 times because it hit 5 candles, right? So I'm gonna go here, 5 candles, and you saw the 5 candles here, right in there. And then what happened? It broke away, and it came up here, and it didn't quite reach the zone but it showed resistance right here because it couldn't quite get to the ceiling. And then what did it do? Once it came up here, price broke away, right? Price broke away and formed this low down here. So here we go with another area of support right here. Came right down here. So now we have another area of support. I'm clone that, right? Price came down here and came up here, and it came back down to the zone here. So retested the zone again, came back down here, and you see that it broke through. So now we got another break of structure right here. You see that this is a break of structure right here, right? This candle is a break of structure because what happened? Right in here, it broke this level here, right? So this is area of support here, right? This area of support right here. So this is a break of structure, and the indicator uses a break of structure, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. So that's my break of structure right here, this candle right here. And why did it break structure? Because it broke through this support floor, and the price came down here. So that's kind of the price action breakdown of what we see right here. So now I'm going to flip on the indicator of Pro Concepts and show, let's see how the Pro Concepts indicator matches up with what I have. It's probably gonna be a little messy because I have a lot of images on here. So here we go. So I just added the Pro Concept indicator. So let's look to see what the indicator says. Let me open it up a little bit so we can see it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right. Well, look at this. This is BOS right here, and it says break of structure, and I have my indicator, my text right here. So it matches up with this here. Look at that, break of structure. Let's look at the support and resistance zones. Well, the red gaps here are called fair value gaps. And these fair value gaps, we're gonna call them fair value gaps, or FVG, or order blocks. That's what these are. So you can see that the red FVGs or order blocks are resistance because they're resistance here. So these are areas of resistance. Actually, I already have, I put resistance, right? Resistance, the resistance zone right here. So we see all this red up here. So when price comes up in this red area here, anywhere up here, we're looking to get sells. And then of course, you're gonna have a blue zone, which is going to be a support. And you can clearly see that where I put my X here was the support zone here. See that down here? Support zone. Support zone. Support zone is blue, right? And the red is resistance. So we see that red. So look at where the blue is. I had my area of support right here, and it's in the blue. This was the area of support right here, but we're looking at the major areas of support. So this matches up. Let me take the indicator off for a second so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to hide the indicator. Now we have the support zone blue and the red. And look, I put the indicator back on and look how perfectly it matches up. Now let's look at this here. You see this area here was where price retested the zone 5 times. And you also see the rejection here. So based on this would have been an entry in this area right here, because once price came down here and created this little low, I'm gonna put a line right here so you can see it right there, a little low right there. Now I'm gonna change it to a different color of red so you can see it's red. So look at where price came down, this low right here, right? Move this arrow up here. And then price came back into the order block. This little zone that I drew earlier, let me take the indicator off. See this little zone right here? This is the little zone I drew. So this would have been an entry right here because we have rejection. So we'll be looking for a sell in this area right here because price came back into the zone. So if I flip on the indicator, it shows that it came up in the red order block area, the FEG. So this area here would have where I would have been looking for to take a small trade right in here, because once price came in here in this area right here and it showed that rejection, then the indicator is telling me, hey, you know what? This is a area of interest that I want to be mindful of because I can get an entry right in here. And what kind of confluence did I have that's telling me that I can get in here? One, I got major rejection here, right? You always want to enter in an area of resistance or support. So this is a area of resistance right here, ceiling right here. See that right there? Boom. We've got all these candles rejecting, and it's retesting the zone, and then it broke away. So my entry would have been right in here. Let me open up this here real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. My entry here would have been on one of these candles right here. I would have gotten in right on this candle right here when it wicked. It wicked in here, wicked to here once, came back down here, came back in the zone. 1, 2, all those candles here, 5 candles. After the 5th candle, I would have entered right in here. This is where I would have entered my trade right here. I'm gonna put a little line here. Enter. I'd have entered on this red candle right here. Enter, trade. I've entered the trade right on this red candle right here. And you wonder, why would I enter this red candle right here? Let's go back. Because I have an area of resistance, the ceiling, right? I have rejection happening on 5 candles, well, 4 of them. And in the 5th candle here, rejected. Once that candle entered this zone right here, once it entered this zone, then we're looking for kind of like a breakout. And this is a breakout here of this candle, but this candle here would have been the 5th candle here, because once we have 4 rejections, then this entry candle right here would have been this little red candle, and I would have ridden this candle, this trade from here all the way down to this area of support. Clone this here. This area of support right here. Because where did this support level come from? It came from right here. A candle right here. So this candle right here formed a support area, and I would have taken this trade from here to here, and that would have been a quick scalp. If you're looking to scalp Bitcoin on a 5-minute time frame, you would have entered here, and you'd have exited right here. Your exit would have been when the trade, when price came down to here, to the support level right here. So I would have exited the trade here, exit trade. So this is the price action we have. So if I take the indicator off, you'll see where we would get in. See, enter trade here, exit trade here. Because I enter the trade at the area of resistance and exit the trade out of the area of support. So when we bring in the indicator, it shows us that, right? Shows us these things, exit here. Now, you can see how the indicator matches up with my zones. I got a support level right here. You can clearly see when this price came down here, it printed this little X right there, right? Here's a little rejection right here, and then price went this way. And you can see how price hit this high up here and created this little, well, this is consolidation right here. So this area right here is consolidation. Let's call it for what it is right here. This little area right here is consolidation right here. I'm gonna mark it up consolidation right here. Let's make it yellow so we can see it. Remember I said price can consolidate from side to side and come here, consolidation right here, consolidation right there. This little zone right here is a consolidation, which means that it's indecision in the market right here. See, indecision in the market right in here. So let's call it what it is. Let's go over here and let's put this consolidation. And this is a price. This is a part of price action or ranging market. So this is a part of price action right here, right? Price action. And then what happens? Price comes, so price is stuck in this little zone here. It's like a bowling ball. It's like bounce, 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 bounce. And then what happens? It comes over here, and then it does what? It breaks through here. So you can clearly see over on this side, right, that price breaks through the consolidation area. And then what happens? It comes back to retest the consolidation area right here, right? That's a retest of the zone here. That's rejection 1, rejection 2, rejection 3, rejection 4, right? 4, rejection 5, well, rejection 5 here, rejection 5, right? Rejection 5, and then price breaks away. So this would have been another entry here. I would have entered right here. This is an entry, enter trade. Another trade you enter here is based on the same thing that we saw over here. If I go back over here, right? We enter the trade because we had all this rejection over here. So I come over here, enter the trade over here, right? I'm entering the trade based on the consolidation of the ranging market, and I would take the sell. I would sell down because you see it's a downtrend down, all the way down to where the zone here is, and you exit trade right here where it hits support. So you enter at a major exit trade, enter at a major resistance or support. So I enter the trade at major resistance here, and I got out of the trade here. So I would trade it from here to here. And this is a brief, small little video of how you use price action with the ProConcepts indicator.